Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the Ahn Rho Project, self-therapeutic psychiatric multimedia project for me to solve the problems, challenges, and obstacles in my life, as well as a self-improvement process for me to reach the heights, goals, and ambitions that I've set for myself and those around me. Welcome back to the second of two live streams, 15 minutes each, separated by a 10-minute gap back to back. This is a continuation, again, of TKS version 6, Task Kill Spree, a fusion combination of multiple smaller subseries or larger subseries, really, from Aftermath to BDMP, which again you can find on my channel and previous live streams for the past 2.5 years, spanning across, such as of course, this is just really me following up and focusing on trying to get as much done as possible and trying to sort my life out. That's all I can say about that. It's a comprehensive self-management and problem resolution I treat myself as a human processor, no pun intended. And this is a real life game, I suppose. That's a way to look at it, as well as a way of applying business fundamentals over to my personal life. So welcome if you're coming in, again, wherever you're coming from, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch. I also noticed that there are actually people dropping in from a Korean platform, so 안녕하세요. So I'm not Korean, but that's that. And what we have here today are a bunch of different photographs that we're going to get through in this particular live stream. What you see is what you get, as usual. Bottom right hand side, I'm going to get rid of the main photograph right now so you can see my hand, and I can point out on the bottom right hand side the title. It says Purge. I have roughly about 100 photographs. We're not going to run through all of them, okay, just maybe about 40. Very quickly, I'm going to commentate over them because one of my negative habits and insecurities I'm trying to get rid of. Again, that's the part of this Ahn Rho project, covering the good, the bad, and the ugly in myself so that I can self-improve. And I have this horrible habit of taking so many photographs of food, like you just saw right now, and it does look very good, but I don't need that many photographs, and I'm supposed to post them on Yelp or something and make use of it. And so that's one thing I'm going to cover, photographs. And why don't we get up so there's some movement on stream? That would be better. I'm also going to cover some products here that I'm going to drop off for my cousin. I think I already talked about it in enough detail in the previous live stream, so you can just check that on the previous live stream just 15 minutes ago. I dropped that one out. Long story short, I'm taking these supplements myself, but I have some for my cousin, and I'm just going to drop it off. Again, during lockdown, I can't really have a chat with him, but that's that. With that being said, we also have some clothing things we need to cover. So in terms of laundry, I've been taking care of myself very well. And I did speak on the previous live stream how I've been digging back the roots from a very broken domestic household and applying the principles that I used when I was way back into like a toddler, growing up into adolescent and further on. Applying those philosophical and psychological tricks that I used to make myself manage a lot of the physical and verbal and emotional disaster that was going around in my household. And I'm applying them now because I have a lot of issues that I need to resolve. And so clothing is one of the things that I need to actually sort out here. It's a huge mess, and I haven't been doing my laundry at all, so I had to clean my room out, and that's something else I need to do. So why don't we get started on the topics at hand? So the first thing we're going to run through are the photographs, and I'm going to draw out the very bottom. We have some stuff here. There are some photographs here that I covered in the previous live stream already. For instance, we have this kind of glucerna, and these are sort of Chinese, pastries and egg tarts and stuff like that. If you may be familiar with them, it's just kind of like Portuguese egg tarts, flaky egg tarts, milk tarts. These are things that play a lot into my insecurities today. I'm not supposed to be eating food that doesn't belong to someone else. I have severe independence issues. I try to do everything by myself. Not conducive. I don't know if this is relatable to some of you, but I don't trust other people enough. It's also very bad to trust too much on other people. And one of my main issues is, of course, that I do not trust anyone at all, even people who are worthy of my trust. Especially that plays a lot of problems in my workplace. And so I have all these tarts here and food and stuff like that. And I'm showing some of the food here, like such as this bun here. It's cranberry walnut bread. It's very tasty. You can get it for very cheap, like $2, $3 or $4 actually at TNT supermarket. But again, that's a Canadian Chinese supermarket. But the point is, I felt so uncomfortable eating this, but I had this kind of also this stress and binge eating issue that again is also my responsibility, and I need to resolve that. It's no one else's fault. It's my own fault. And if I'm eating things out of impulse, I need to stop that and break that negative habit. And so those are the photographs I covered in the previous stream. We're going to move on now to photographs of fast food. And this is really, again, if I move around to the front here, you can see that there's a lot of food here. Packaging that's garbage, I'm going to throw away. But I also took some photographs. Again, this one has to do with my personal prioritization. I'm not managing my life very well because I take photographs and spend my time on things that are not very useful, and I need to focus on higher priority items in my life if I'm going to increase the output on, say, my side business, the research and molecular research, as well as particularly getting to work on time. That's another thing. So again, I'm full-time employed, but also running a side business, as well as doing this project. This project is not the business, right? To make a business, it has to be profitable. So this is not, I'm not making any money off this. It's a project to improve myself. It's my own psychotherapeutic project to resolve my personal insecurities. And so one of the things I have and problems and negative habits is, again, look at all these photographs here. Wendy's, we have these chili cheese nachos. We have these, a lot of the, again, not very healthy. You take a look at it, you can see that it's got a lot of cheese. It's very high in saturated fat and sodium. Again, the reason why I purchased this was on a whim kind of yesterday. I got off work, and the storytelling is basically that I needed to take supplements, and to go with that very well is protein-heavy foods. And so, obviously, this is not the best choice. The better choice was to avoid the chili cheese nachos, and if at all possible, just get a junior bacon cheeseburger, just like this, and that would have been enough. But I didn't, and so we have a lot of the foods here. Me just taking photographs. You can see at least this one has some tomatoes, some lettuce, that kind of stuff. So that's nice, and I took this with the supplements I'm having, again, used Ahn Health Sciences, which comes with, again, a lot of the things I would need to sustain my health and keep myself running on a job that is very intensive, actually, because I'm right between shipping and receiving and production and assembly, and as a result, it's a very physically demanding job. I'm always on the run, lifting things and so on and so forth. But needless to say, that's Wendy's right here, of course. That's very cheap. You can get it for, again, $2.30. I'm a very frugal person, coming from a background in poverty. It's just something that I do. And maybe one of these days I'll start buying food properly and eating healthy food. Oh, you see here, by the way, this is like a aerial shot from the backdrop, so you can see everything out from, all together. You see the Tim Hortons on the bottom right hand side, and then the Wendy's on the left hand side, and so that's kind of that. I zoom up into the nachos when they were still packaged. Okay, so a lot of photographs, like I said, just a lot of stuff. And here's the branding logo. I even have that there. I hope I don't get copyright striked for something like this, but it's very simple stuff, and I'm just running through them all. Okay, we have now into the Tim Hortons. So we have these cookies, which on the top right hand side, this is a new promotional item, I guess, from Tim Hortons that I particularly enjoy, and it's not good for me. Again, it's Reese's peanut butter cookies. I'm trying to get rid of myself from doing this. See, whenever I make my own food, it's actually pretty good. I would put 2 slices of whole wheat flaxseed bread or something like that with some bologna, and then add some chia seeds and some ginger powder, and maybe a little bit of what else do we add? Dehydrated onions, and that would be nice. And then take a meal replacement from, say, Ensure or Glucerna. You may be familiar from Walmart. You can pick it up real cheap. I take Glucerna because it has less sugar, although it does have sucralose, but at least it's better in terms of diabetics and lowering the risk of cardiovascular disease. But whenever I buy out, obviously if you eat out, it's a lot unhealthier like this. And what we have here is actually me taste sampling. So I try to hit off as many priorities as I can whenever I make a purchase. If I'm going to spend on, say, food so that I can, for health reasons, take my supplements, as well as for dinner if I didn't make anything for work, I can also, for a third reason, try out foods I haven't tried. So this is a coconut cream donut that I haven't tried out. So that's also something that I took photographs of. Now, we have last 3 more photographs that have to do with food, but I want to cover some screenshots as well. Because you do see in the title, so again, Tim Hortons here, I want to cover the screenshots that I want to get rid of from my phone. So it says Purge in the title,